Good morning, everybody. It's going to be my weekly analysis on EU, possibly GU, and I'm going to want to have a look at GJ because GJ is looking pretty good. But first of all, let's start off on EU. Let's just go over last week, shall we, quickly? I don't know why okay, so there's my Asia session. Right, so last week kind of played out pretty well, but not quite as expected. So we read this range from here to here. I think this was Friday, so this was Monday. Monday we pushed up and we took out this high. So the idea was that we come and take out this high, obviously this high and this high, and we did that on Monday Asia session. So was unable to catch this unable to catch this push up, but we took out external here and external here, and we failed to take out this high up here on the 4 hour. This high right here, which was the overall goal, because this is just a lot of liquidity right above here feeding into this 12 hour unmitigate block. So that was the overall plan for last week, but we pushed up. Let's just go down to the 1 hour. Actually, let's go back. Let's go right here. 15-minute. So once we took out this high up here, I was like, okay, we haven't taken out this extreme high up here, so we're still in this bullish range, and you can see that this was the range once we took out that high, and then price came and took internal, and this would have been a beautiful long from here, but also we created this small range from this strong low to this weak high. We took out internal. This would have been a great long opportunity as well with confirmation, because we broke on the 15-minute, I think. So this would have been a pretty good long from here to come and take out this, which played out nicely. So the range is one sec. So the range played out, but we still never took this high. So what I'm thinking, well, not what I'm thinking, but what I see is just a lot of liquidity. All of this liquidity, just engineered liquidity right below this block, and I'm still inside of this range from here to here. We come and took internal, so this is my target. This is still my target, this high right here. And let's just go back to current price. So and right now we are down here. So we took out this high, we took out this high, and this all becomes liquidity, trendline liquidity. This gets swept. It makes sense to come and take this as liquidity because we took out this, so a new range is created. So we're currently bearish in a pullback, taking out internal in some sort of bigger range, I think, but I don't know what range, so I'm going to find it. So let's delete everything and start from scratch and clear this up a little bit. So we know where we are on the weekly because we did all this last week. We've taken out this internal right here, taking out this internal. Liquidity, it's still inside of this range, bearish range, from this high to this low. This is external. Let's just put that in a solid black line. Now let's break it down. Let's figure out where we are inside this range. yeah, this is where we are at the moment. We've come into this block. We have a run of liquidity. Push up, break a structure. Then we have a run of liquidity. We have a run of liquidity, break a structure. So this is my current range. Let's put that in red. This low to this high. Just go to the 12-hour quickly. 12-hour, just unmitigated. This unmitigated block right here that's kind of making me think that buys make sense. Look at all this liquidity right here, which is external. Let's just put an X on that. Let's put a triple X. There's a lot of liquidity. So now it makes a bit more sense now, because overall we're bearish inside of this weekly range. This is internal range liquidity, which we haven't swept yet, of this bearish range. We have a bullish range right here. We've came down, we've took internal, and now the target should be external. But last week we pushed up, took out this high right here, took out this high. This was the range from here to here. Price came down, took internal, then took external. So then this became liquidity. We pushed down, unmitigated wick on the 12-hour. I think the 12-hour looks the best. We have this unmitigated wick right here, with liquidity just below it, right there. This liquidity. So I'm just going to trade what I see and not what I think. And currently I see, let's get rid of that. Currently I see that, like I say, we've taken out external of this range from here to here. So that range is done. This became liquidity. This also became liquidity. And now we're pushing up to come and take out this high. It makes sense to come and take out this high, because this is going to be an inducement feeding into this 12-hour block, and then hopefully get that push down to come and take external if we're bearish overall, which, you know, makes sense. It does make sense. Internal. Yeah, okay. Let's have a little dig a little bit deeper. You have to bear with me because I'm trying to figure it out as well. Yeah, this liquidity. Let's find out where we came to. Yeah, it makes sense for this to be liquidity because we took out this high up here. So that range was done. So now we come down to take this, and now we came down, we've broken structure right here. So I'm going to stick with what I believe in. I think that this is going to get taken. So I'm looking for buys. I'm looking for buys, and we've broken structure. We ran this liquidity to the left, we've broken structure. So now we're in, this is the current range. This is the current range. So the play is going to be run of liquidity, break a structure. The play is going to be from this gap really. I hate gaps, they look messy. But yeah, I'd say we're bullish overall. I'm going to need this gap filled before I look for any longs. So I will look for longs from... Now I'm not going to say I'm going to take this because I trade a bit more lower time frame now. But this is my POI. It looks pretty obvious with the gap. This is my POI. So when price comes in here, I'll wait for some confirmation that we're going long on the lower time frames, and that is where I take the longs from, targeting this high up here. But let me just double check, because the question is on the daily time frame. See, the thing is, on the daily time frame, this looks like a break of structure, but you have to remember this was the range from here to here. We just took out internal, and this to me is a break of structure, a retrace, break of structure. This becomes an inducement because we took out external. Now this is the liquidity, so we took out buy side, then we come for sell side. We're still bullish overall inside of this leg, inside of this range. So buys look like the play, to be honest, to come and take this out. I'm not gonna read too much into the fact that we got up to this high and never took it, and then we start to see this, because this is kind of what the market does. It induces people to go short and then goes the opposite way. And you know, now that people are thinking, okay, now we didn't take out this high, we started pushing bearish, people are going to be looking for shorts from up here, and what happens is that, so that's what I'm going to be waiting for. I'm going to be targeting this high. That's EU. Don't really want to go over GU. Let's have a quick look. It's very similar on GU, to be honest, but the only difference is we could be, the GU doesn't look quite as clean because we are inside this daily block here, taking out this liquidity, and now we're pretty high up in here, and I don't see a lot of imbalance, so I'm not too keen on GU, to be honest, so I'm just going to leave it. But let's talk about GJ. So GJ, this is not a trade that I'm in, but this was one that I've been eyeing up for a little while, and let's just go over it because it looks like it's going to be a pretty good trade. So this is my range from this low to this high. We had internal range liquidity, price took out the internal range liquidity, pushed up, failed to take this high, so then this becomes an inducement. So when we broke structure here, could have been looking for shorts to come and take out this inducement. Took out the inducement, got a big bullish push, and on the 12 hour, we have this imbalance fill price action right here, with all this liquidity built up just below it. So we have a range from strong low to weak high. See, there was no liquidity in here, no internal range liquidity, just a big bullish push. So price built the liquidity, generated the liquidity, took it out into this unmitigated block, and now we're pushing to come and take out this. And yeah, like I say, with GJ, it's not one that I'm actively trading, but it's one that I like to keep an eye on because it's one that I want to trade in the future. Let's have a little look on the lower time frames. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, look, break a structure, retrace, break a structure, break a block, long to come and take this out, because this is a liquidity, so you could long from the closest POI, which is this, targeting this high. But I prefer it on the higher time frames, to be honest. But the thing is, you can't really trade GJ on the higher time frames because of swaps. You know, taking that like that, you could be looking at a week or two, and that could really do you in swaps. So I don't really want to be trading the higher time frames. I want to try and get in on the lower time frames, which would probably be something like it didn't really pull back that much, so yeah, it would have to be, because this would be the trap, this would be the breaker block, be the breaker, the closest POI, 5 minute. Yeah, this is the imbalance fill inside of there. I think that would be the play. It's a bit risky actually, I wouldn't take that. Anyway, but that's what I'm kind of thinking on GJ. It's looking pretty good. EU, yeah, so EU I'm looking for the buys. I'm not actively going to be trading this week, so I'm just going to be watching, but I like to do my analysis, you know, to look back at the end of the week and see where it played out. Last week played out pretty well, apart from we never took this high. So yeah, still my target. So let's have a little flick through. EU, yeah, I'm really just looking for EU, to be honest. You know, when you trade a little bit lower time frame, you don't need too many pairs. EU, GU, and just not at the same time. So just probably EU for me. Anyway, rambling on. That's it for me. Have a good weekend, or have a good week. Thank you. Bye bye.